What's up, guys? Peter from Panda here. Hey, I want to show you a pen of mine that I really love that is now a vintage pen. And I'm bringing that up because I've actually had some parts wear out on it and break on me, and I'm going to address that a little bit here. But when you have a vintage pen, getting things fixed, repaired, replaced is really tough. It's also very expensive. So it's kind of like vintage cars in a lot of ways. But first of all, I have a lot of love for Waterman Serenity pens. I think they were some of the most beautiful pens ever made. And one of the reasons was kind of this, uneven, kind of reed like bamboo rod like samurai sword like curved, offset, uneven design of it. I showed you my black one a while back, and that's kind of just a resin pen, I guess. And what I found is that there's some differences between that rollerball and this one. And I want to show you the real differences here. But I wanted to show you this pen. It has some wear. It's not new. It's a little older, and I think this was probably one of the best ones that they made, especially kind of more in the entry level side. They had some versions like the Cocobolo pen and the ones with like hand etching that were like dragon shaped or had designs on them. But I thought this deep kind of royal blue, almost black in some light, but it's kind of this royal shiny blue, and the silver hardware on it really looked great. This collar was definitely kind of thicker and more massive than some of the collars on other Serenities, like the black one. The clip is basically about the same. I think the material might have been just a little bit different, but it looks exactly the same. And I just kind of dug this too. I love the fact that you had like this band tab up here and then a sword like needle kind of poking through it, holding it down. And like I said, more than anything, you can see it here, just that curved shape, which only goes one way, which makes the pen lopsided. And then you have a Serenity or a Waterman inlaid badge there. And then on the back end here is where you can kind of tell that they're real, because you have kind of a hollowed cutout here and then a metal button there with France 72 in my case, but I think it'll say France on there, and that's kind of a metal piece, and that's where you unscrew the cap here and it will fit on that end so you won't lose it. And then you actually have you can see just a little indentation so that you can line up the latch here with that indentation. Now, these things tend to take a beating, even though I'm relatively ginger with mine. You just can't help it, and you're not trying to baby it. Otherwise, why would you get a pen? But look at that. I mean, even with the cap on, I just think it's beautiful. It's nice to hold. It feels good. This pen in particular, the blue, feels much weightier than the black. And I think it has to do a lot with this collar, because you can kind of feel the weight down here, down low. And I like the roller balls. I know some guys are kind of, hell-bent on continuing to use fountain pens, but I just find them kind of obsolete in this day and age. Good looking pen, but I want to show you a little bit of the function and where it differs than the black one. Now, on the black one, the cap just kind of snaps in, and there's a little bit of a tab where you line it up so that you know that the curve will line up. And in this case, once you have your cartridge in, as you tighten it down, the last point that it tightens up, it makes sure that everything, the cap and the barrel, are all in line here. On the black one, there's a little tab because the cap just clips in. Okay, so this one's a little different. That being said, what ended up happening on this one, see kind of a metal collar around the top and then a metal band here. So what ended up happening, and how you get the rollerball cartridge out, is you twist this collar here. There we go. And it'll start to come out. Kind of lifts out until it releases. Now I can just pull it out. And so what ended up happening in this collar is it broke. Okay. Now you can't see it too well here, but it's been super glued back together because I did it. Because I reached out to Waterman and they were like, we don't have that. We don't have those parts. We suggest you going to a vintage pen restorer and finding it. And I was like, okay. I'm just going to spend $3 on super glue and do it myself. So this is what I think they call it a pen end looks like. This is the one out of my black one. Very similar, and it will fit. That's the funny thing, okay? So I can put my cartridge in there and put this in here, but you can obviously see there are some differences. It's just not as finely made. I shouldn't say that. It's just made differently. A brushed metal finish. It doesn't have this this collar here. And then you can see down here, though, the two black parts are different. The threading is different. And what the big difference is if I rotate this around, you can see that it has a little bit of a tab or a detent there. And that's how the cap lines up, as I understand it. Now, I was able to get this in my pen, but you can't close it right then. Oh, look, it's kind of worn away now, but it says Waterman right there. So the cap doesn't fit right. It only fits right with this. So if you have a black Waterman Serenity, and you've got to replace the pen end here, you've got to make sure you get this one. And if you have the blue one, like I do in my case, or the one with the screw cap, you got to make sure that you have this one, because this is the only one that works. And in fact, it's the threading is so precise, that's how it tightens down. So if I go ahead and put this back in here, I'll show you. Boom, in. Put this back in the pen. You kind of drop it down there, and then this way, sorry. And then I twist this down until the pen tightens, and you don't want to over tighten it because that's how I broke it in the first place. Okay, and then the cap should be able to go on and screw in and line up. And it does. Bingo! So anyway, there it is. I know I've kind of spent a lot of time on the Waterman Serenity, but I love this pen. If you have these pens, because they're kind of rare, the value I think on them is quite strong. So keep it in good shape. And if you have one of these and you don't want it, just go ahead and send it to me. Reach out to Peter Von Panda here, and I will take it off your hands and add it to my collection. Peter Von Panda with my Waterman Serenity. Out!